and welcome to FNN episode 48. In today's episode, we have the highlights of our Blackout game by Crystal and Janessa, and a few tips for grade 12s by grade 12s by Will and Jack.
After that, we have the pleasure of enjoying 2 Eric review segments and Alex's wonderful GSA animation.
So what do you like about football?
It's a very family sport too. Like the teammates that you're with, it just becomes a big family.
And honestly, it's a great way to get your anger out.
It really tests your brain. It really pushes you up against the wall. You got to fight through it, and I like that. It just really pushes you to your limit.
What's it like being the first girl on the team?
It's not as bad as you think. All the guys are super nice. They're really respectful. It's like I'm one of the guys.
What inspired you to be a football coach?
My whole life. I love the game. I love coaches, the players. It's great. We spend a lot of time together, get to know each other really well. And that makes it worthwhile coming out here and hanging out with the guys and helping them learn something new.
Make it bounce.
Hey, it's me again. Now, I've been getting mostly positive reviews about my last FNN, mostly from teachers and my parents. And I feel maybe we should do something within the same veil, you know? And that's why this time I'm doing something extremely similar, giving tips to the grade 12s, which is something that I'm definitely qualified to do. Tip number 1, don't be afraid to take a gap year. Post-secondary is important, but it's not so important that you have to take it immediately at the risk of maybe hurting yourself financially or mentally. Tip number 2, apply for as many scholarships as possible. A lot of people underestimate just how much scholarships and other programs that they're entitled to. The reason why I say this is because loans can sometimes tie you down for perhaps the rest of your life. And while Canada has pretty lenient loan policies for students, it's still always a better idea to apply for as many scholarships as possible. And finally, tip number 3. Occasionally, the office puts out a candy jar, right? It's pretty elusive. I've only seen it a few times. I'm not even sure if it's for the students. The reason I say this is one time I snagged a few candies and they yelled at me. But if the candy jar isn't there, you can always grab a few of the batteries from the dead battery jar and eat them instead.
Well, as we finally finish the summer season and head into fall, we're going to have to brace ourselves for the inevitable cold weather. Now this segment visuals might be outdated already. It could have started snowing knowing Canada, but either way, we're going to have to be ready. Get your boots, your hats, your beanies, your spiciest memes, and keep them close. Nobody likes frostbite. And as we all know, no matter what the weather, this school will never close down, ever. Brace for the worst, everybody. Stay warm. That's all. Oh, and if you come across Rogue Snowman, just run. Run. It's all you can do. Goodbye. Hey, Eric, Reviews here. Now, usually on the show, we look at games that are pretty old, like 5 or 6 years or so at least. But what if we were to take a look at a game that hasn't even been released yet? Essentially, there's this demo on the internet called the Museum of Simulation Technology. The demo serves to get players interested in a new mechanic in which you pick up a thing and then put it somewhere else, and it changes its size based on where you put it and where you picked it up originally. Yeah, okay, I'll I'll just show you instead. And also, like, ditch this format, it's not really my thing. See? That's amazing! It's so simple, but there are so many possibilities. The demo includes a few puzzles to work through, stuff like changing the size of objects to climb on, or use as a bridge and so on. But it also shows how objects can interact with the environment in different ways based on size, like this fan here that produces more wind the bigger it gets. There are some portals too, those are always fun, but my favorite part of the demo is this bit right here. Yeah, the mechanic's pretty cool and all, but the demo lasts like 10 minutes and then it's over. Why does this even matter? I hear you thinking in your head. Yes, I can hear thoughts. It's quite exhausting, I really hate it, I wish you didn't think the things you did. It's terrible. Please stop. Well, you're in luck, bucko. This concept has been picked up by an indie studio and it's going to come out under the name Superliminal. It looks a lot more polished, it'll probably be a lot longer, and it looks like they're adding a lot more depth to the mechanics. So I guess that's about all there is to say. I guess it's ratings time? I give the Museum of Simulation Technology a rating of 2 moderately sized moons out of the Eiffel Tower.
Now for another wonderful episode of Cooking with Louie, followed by a book review of Love, Simon with Nicole and Alex.
Then to finish it off, a spotlight on Millennium Lanes by myself, Pax, and Naomi, Sell Your Science by Ty and Will, initial thoughts on advancing classes with Aiden and Fraser, then a spotlight on the Schools of Okotoks by Ricky and Louie.
Hello, and welcome to Nicole Talks About Books. Today, we will be talking about Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli. Okay, so the plot, without giving too much of it away, is this is a story about a teenager named Simon Spire who is gay, but he's not out. And he begins to exchange emails with another gay kid at his school who goes by the name Blue. And one day, Simon accidentally gets found out by another student who begins to blackmail him and decides to go along with it to protect Blue. This book had a pretty well-constructed plot and well-rounded characters, and I think it's a pretty good read. The premise of this book is very good because it's great for LGBTQ teens to see themselves in media like this because it's validating against the heteronormative society, and that's the tea, sis. So that was Nicole Talks About Books. We had fun. Thanks for joining us. I'm gonna go finish the rest of this tea now. See you next time.
At Millennium Lanes with the manager Wendy. And what sort of demographic does Millennium Lanes attract?
So we tried to attract all ages. In our youth, or in our bowling leagues, we actually go all the way down to age 3 up to 85.
What is the purpose of this establishment?
We want to have a fun place for a whole family to come and have a good evening or even afternoons. We're set up for all different ages.
Has anyone ever broken the floor with a bowling ball?
Not broken the floor. We do have synthetic lanes, so they're a little harder to break. But we do have dents in the walls, we've had holes in the wall, and we do currently have a hole in one of our ceiling tiles that I'm not quite sure how got there, but it was obviously viable.
Hi, welcome back to Sell Your Science. This week, we're talking to Mr. Jones about physics.
So I am Mr. Jones. I teach at the comp. This is my second year here. I teach math and physics. Physics is one of my favorite subjects out there. I really love astronomy and I love to talk about astrophysics in class. And I like to talk about all the other applications that physics has all around the world and all in our everyday lives. I also teach calculus and I like how those two match together so well. Overall, if you're ever questioning whether to take physics or calculus or anything for school, come talk to me. Hopefully we can find you a good fit.
I think physics is really just math that's applicable to real life, and it's used for a lot of university courses.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Sell Your Science. Tune in next week where we'll be talking about chemistry.
Hey yo, what is good? It's your boy Aiden, and today we will be ascending the mortal plane by talking even more about advancing classes. So the first week of advancing classes has passed, and today we will be interviewing people on what their initial thoughts of these brain-boosting classes are. So, what are your initial thoughts on advancing classes?
They're a really efficient way of helping students who need help in a class catch up, or just helping them get ready for a class they have to take in the next semester.
So, do you think advancing classes is going to help people improve their grades?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm in math advancing, and honestly, it's helping so much for me to remember the material and everything. So next semester, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot better in math. So yes, I really do think it's going to help improve grades.
All right, thank you.
Hey, I thought they kicked you out of this room. Oh yeah, I'm just collecting some supplies.
So, where are we filming the next episode?
Well, don't worry, I'm sure I'll find a room somewhere else. Hey, it's Cooking with Louie again. This is episode 2. So last time I decided I couldn't use room 105B anymore. I'm in an even better room now, and it's called room, I don't know which one this is, but it's gonna be even better. You'll barely notice a difference. Secondly, I thought my voice could use some adjustments since the last episode, so I've used my editing skills to make my voice sound even deeper.
Now, this is the way I talk in real life when I'm not on camera. It sounds more natural this way. So, what are we making to... Wait, no, that's too deep. Why do I have subtitles? I don't need subtitles. Can we go back? We can't remove them.
Okay, fine. We're making Jell-O today. Now, most people like to have their Jell-O in flavors like orange or lime, but not for me. Not on this show. Today we're making Jell-O in my favorite flavor, plain. Now, when I say we, I mean I, and when I say make, I mean made. I made this yesterday, and now I'm just showcasing it.
Wait, isn't this supposed to be a cooking show?
I am cooking. I'm cooking up an experience of culinary talent. If you've ever used a pharmaceutical pill or put on makeup, then you're already familiar with the meal that we're about to have today. Ingredients include gelatin, and that's it. That's the only ingredient. Is this enough for a cooking show? This is a new segment that I like to introduce. It's called Try the Thing That I Made with Someone Else. We're having Jell-O today, plain.
Oh yes.
It's not as bad as I thought.
It's not very good. No. This tastes like water.
It's so good, I'm not even gonna eat it anymore. I'm starting to think there's a reason to do these in kitchens. I can't keep cooking out in the middle of the open like an animal. Well, that's been Cooking with Louie. Thank you for tuning into FNN 48, and have a Falcon good day.